In today's video, we look at 10 uplifting documentaries about the Pope. The Pope is a religious leader who holds great power and influence across the world. He is seen as a symbol of hope, strength, and wisdom. The papacy has been the subject of many documentaries, both informative and inspiring. Today, let's take a look at the top 10 documentaries that give us a fascinating summary of the best portrayals of the Pope as a man and as a spiritual leader. If you like our videos, support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Factual America, activate the little bell, and look forward to the videos we upload for you every week. First up is Pope, the Most Powerful Man in History, 2018. This documentary delves into the history of the papacy and the influence it has had on the world throughout the ages. Narrated by Liam Neeson, this series takes you on a journey through time, highlighting key moments in the papacy's history and how they shape the world we know today. Next up is Francesco, a Pope Francis documentary film, 2021. This documentary follows Pope Francis from the beginning of his papacy to the present day. It is filled with interviews with those who know him best, including those he has met throughout his travels. This movie highlights his life in humble beginnings, his journey to the papacy, and the teachings that he has shared throughout his life. It also gives a behind-the-scenes look at his mission to bring change and how it is advancing around the world. Our number 3 is Pope Francis, a Man of His Word, 2018. This documentary focuses on Pope Francis and his efforts to inspire change in the world. It discusses his stance on controversial topics, such as climate change, wealth inequality, and peace. The film shares Pope Francis's speeches and interviews, giving us insight into his heart and motivation to help make a positive change in the world. The film Rebel Pope, 2016, focuses on Pope Pius XIII, a pope whose teachings on the papacy were considered radical and controversial during his reign. With the first Italian pope in years and the youngest, the election of Pius XIII marked a significant shift in the papacy's history. This documentary offers a unique perspective of the man who helped modernize the Catholic Church. At number 5, we have Saints and Sinners, The History of the Popes, 2005. This series is a fascinating look at the history of the papacy, focusing on the highs and lows of each pope's reign. Tackling everything from corruption to holy wars, this film leaves no stone unturned in its vast analysis of this powerful institution. The Truth About Pope Francis, the documentary, 2013, is a fascinating and revealing film that explores the true identity and motivations of Pope Francis, the 266th Bishop of Rome. This documentary delves into his humble beginnings, his controversial views, and his connection to the poor. The film shows how Pope Francis has become one of the most admired and respected figures in the world today, and how he has challenged the traditional teachings of the Church. Hulu's original documentary, The Pope Answers, 2023, is an in-depth look at Pope Francis, his life, beliefs, and impact. The film features exclusive interviews with the Pope himself, as well as with world leaders, scholars, and other prominent figures. This documentary explores the Pope's views on social justice, poverty, and the role of the Church in today's world. It also offers historical insights into the power of the papacy and its influence throughout history. In Viaggio, The Travels of Pope Francis, 2022, is a documentary that follows the Pope on his travels around the world. The film shows how Pope Francis relates to people from different cultures and religions as he brings a message of love, peace, and hope to those he encounters. The documentary captures the Pope's visits to places such as Brazil, South Korea, and the United States, as well as his interactions with world leaders. Francis, the Pope of Surprises, 2023, is a documentary that showcases how Pope Francis has challenged the traditional teachings of the Church and redefined what it means to be a Catholic. The film reveals how he has used his position to speak out on issues such as climate change and the rights of refugees and migrants. The documentary also explores his background as a Jesuit, his leadership style, and his commitment to reforming the Church. At number 10, we have The Last Pope, 2018. This documentary examines the prophecies and rumors about the end of the world and the papacy. The film explores the predictions of Saint Malachy, a 12th century Irish bishop who prophesied that there would be only 112 popes before the end of the world. The last pope would be known as Peter the Roman and would preside over the destruction of Rome. The documentary also looks at other prophecies and theories about the end of the world and the papacy and whether or not they are true. We also have a bonus documentary today, The Letter, 2022. Nicholas Brown's new documentary explores the journey of a group of people from different walks of life as they make their way to the Vatican for a special meeting with the Pope. The film delves into how the Pope became an environmentalist. These documentaries offer a unique perspective on the papacy and the influence that these religious leaders have had on the world throughout history. Each one provides insightful information about the papacy and its impact throughout the ages. Whether you're curious about the papacy in general, or whether you're a devout Catholic, these documentaries provide enlightenment and fascinating information that will keep you engaged. Explore these documentaries and gain a deeper appreciation for the papacy's leaders and their contributions.